Welcome to becoming a successful Microsoft technical support with Thompson.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing great. Alright, so on today's video we're going to be talking about shared mailbox. Okay, so if you've enjoyed the videos I've dropped so far, please do well to drop a like, subscribe and share to your friends who are technical support engineers or are looking to become one in the future. Alright, so now let's just dive right into the video. So before I start, alright, I'm going to explain what a shared mailbox is. Alright, so a shared mailbox is like a type of mailbox in the Microsoft 365, alright, that allows multiple users to send and receive emails from a common email. Alright, so let me give an example. Let's say you created a shared mailbox with the email info@company.com. That's an example. Alright, so now this is not an individual email. This is an email where when it's created, you give access to it to multiple users and they are able to send and receive and manage that mailbox. Alright, so now the shared mailbox, things you need to know about the shared mailbox is that they don't require a login. So you don't need to create a username and password for a shared mailbox. Alright, so the shared mailbox has shared access. Multiple users can read, reply, manage emails together, alright, at the same time. So this is great. This is like a good mailbox for customer support, sales, where a lot of people have to manage one particular emails. So that's a good way. That's a good mailbox to be used. And the shared mailbox has a free license. That is a free exchange license, which comes with 50 gig. Alright, it comes with 50 gig of space, of mailbox space, and 50 gig of archive space. Alright, so if you want anything above 50 gig, you will need to give the shared mailbox a license. Alright, so what can a shared mailbox do? A shared mailbox can receive emails sent to the shared address. It can receive emails sent to a shared address. Alright, so you can maintain a shared calendar for scheduling and auto replies or rules for incoming mails. So you can set rules for incoming emails. Alright, so that is inbox rule. So basically it works like a normal mailbox. It's just that it's a shared mailbox. Multiple users can have access to it at the same time by granting delegate permission. Alright, so with that being said, let me just go straight into the video and show you how to create one and how it works. Okay, so now we are in the admin center. Alright, so usually the normal mailbox, when you create a new user, let's say for instance let me just go to a user, any user in my organization. So I'm just going to go to my own user. I'm just going to go to Thomas. Okay, so let's just click on Thomas. Alright, it's loading. So now when I give a user in the organization a license, alright, an exchange license or any license that comes with exchange online, it automatically provisions a mailbox. Alright, depends on the subscription you gave. It provisions a mailbox. As you can see, I have a mailbox storage of 100 gig. Alright, I have a storage mailbox of 100 gig. Okay, so this is a user mailbox. Now for us to understand better, let's go to the Exchange admin center. So let's go to the Exchange admin center. Network is pretty slow. Okay, the Exchange admin Center is opening up. I hope you know what the Exchange Admin Center is. Don't worry, I'm going to make a different video explaining about the Exchange Admin Center and all the things you can do on the Exchange Admin Center. So for this video, we are mainly focusing on the shared mailbox. We are on the Exchange Admin Center. Alright, so under recipients, just come to recipients and you're going to see mailboxes. Okay, so when you give a user a license, it automatically creates a user mailbox. Alright, so you can see this is a user mailbox. So you are going to see that if it's a shared mailbox, it's going to be written shared mailbox, user mailbox. Alright, so the difference between this shared mailbox and the user mailbox is that the user mailbox is an individual mailbox. Alright, it uses a license. You need a license for it to function. Alright, but a shared mailbox does not need a license. For a shared mailbox to function properly, you need to assign it to a user who has a license. Alright, that's the twist. So now if you have a shared mailbox, you just don't create a shared mailbox and you are able to send emails. For you to be able to send emails using that shared mailbox, you need to give delegate permission to a user who has a valid license, a valid exchange license. So when you do this, the user will be assigned a delegate permission and the user will be able to send emails through that shared mailbox. I hope that makes sense. Alright, so now there are two ways of creating a shared mailbox. There are two ways of creating a shared mailbox. The first way is by coming here and clicking on add a shared mailbox. Give the shared mailbox a name. You can give it let's just say okay, shared test. Now what would the email be? Let's give it shared test. Then we select a domain. So these are all the domains in the organization. So I'm just going to select this one. Let's select this one. Then we are going to create. So you can add an alias also to a shared mailbox, but I think you can add one. Okay, hold on. It's already being used. Okay, so I think this name is already being used. Let's change this to shared test instead. So let's create. Alright, so we have our shared mailbox now. So let's just refresh and we should see our shared test shared mailbox. So you can see test shared. So now if you look at this very well, this we did not create. When we're creating this mailbox, we did not create a password or username. So when you ask how do you now access this shared mailbox, all right, like I said, this shared mailbox can only be accessed when you give a delegate permission to a user who has a valid exchange license. All right, so I'm going to click on test shared now, and for me to give delegate permission, I'll come to delegation, then I'll give the permissions. Okay, so this is not even the one I created. This is the one I created just now. So the one I created before was test shared. This one I created now was shared test. Alright, so now I click on shared test. You are going to notice that everything that a normal mailbox have, a user mailbox have it, a shared mailbox have it. So let's go to a user mailbox. Let's say from this time, let's go to Promise Okoro. You're going to see everything that a shared mailbox have, a user mailbox have it. The only difference is that it's a shared mailbox. So now let's go back to shared test. So let's go back to shared test. So for you to be able to access this shared mailbox, you need to give a delegate permission. As you can see, there is nobody on this tenant that has a permission to this. So I'm going to give myself permission. So we have the senders. So we have the sender's permission and we have the read and manage, that is the full access permission. So the difference is when you give this one, you are only able to send as that user. So when you give the sender's permission, you are only able to send as. But when you give the read and manage, that is the full access, you are able to manage the mailbox as the owner. You are able to manage the mailbox as the owner. Alright. So now I'm going to give myself the sender's permission because I want to be able to send as this user. So I'm going to search for myself. So I'm going to give myself okay. So I'm also going to give the full access permission. Alright. So now we have given the full access and readers only permission, the sender's permission. So for us to be able to check and sign into that shared mailbox now, I need to sign into Outlook. So now this is my Outlook. So for me to have access to that shared mailbox now, because I told you we don't log in to a shared mailbox using the password and username. For us to do that, you come to the profile icon here. You click on the profile picture. When you click on the profile icon, this is what you are going to see. So now that you have seen this, you are going to click on open another mailbox. So when you click on another mailbox, it's going to ask you for the shared mailbox email or whichever email you have delegate permission to. So the email, the shared mailbox is shared test. So let me just copy the mailbox, the shared mailbox username. So this is it. Oh no, that's not it. So it should be, hold on. Alright, this is it. Shared test at megadevs@microsoft.com. So now when we come here and we paste it, then it should open another tab. And this tab should be the shared mailbox. Okay, as you can see, this is the shared mailbox, and the only reason I'm able to access this is because I have delegate permission to this shared mailbox. Alright, so if you want us to run a test, I can run a test for you so you see that emails get delivered. Okay, so let's see. Let's try to send one from here. Let's try to send one from here. Okay, so I'm sending to the shared mailbox. So I'm sending the email to the shared mailbox now. And you can see the email is in the shared mailbox. I can reply the email. Reply from the shared mailbox. So not to worry, I'm also going to try and share externally, send an email externally so that you see that it also works fine. So I'm going to reply. So I'm going to reply. So I'll say send. Thanks. So let's send it, and we should see send text. Send thanks. So you can see send thanks on my account. All right, so I'm going to send an email to a Gmail account now, so that you can see that this works not just internally but also externally, that is also works outside of your organization. All right, so let me send an email to, let me first open up my email. All right, so you can see this is my last email. So I'm going to send an email now to my email. So let's no from the shared mailbox, sorry, let's do it from the shared mailbox. So I'm going to do new mail to my Gmail. So I'm going to write tests and tests. So let's send it. Let's send it. So it sends, and I should receive it in my Gmail. I should receive it in my Gmail. Let's make sure that it's not in spam. Oh, it's in spam. So you can see this is the email from, this is the email from the shared mailbox. So you can see, right? All right. So now that is one way of creating a shared mailbox, just like I explained. So the other way of creating a shared mailbox is, let's say you have an existing user mailbox. All right, you can just switch it or convert it to a shared mailbox. So let's say, for instance, this is Odogu Billions. All right, it's a user mailbox. So now I'm going to, if I want to switch it to a shared mailbox, all right, first of all, the user mailbox must have a valid license before it's able to switch to a shared mailbox. All right, so now this user has a valid license. That's why it's showing under the Exchange Admin Center though. So now when you click on this, at the top here, you're going to see convert to shared mailbox. So now when you click on convert to shared mailbox, it's going to ask you, do you want to convert to mailbox? Click on confirm. So it's going to take some seconds, and it's going to convert it to a shared mail, to a user mailbox. All right, I don't know, that did not convert. So let's just use another one. Let's see. Okay, let's use this one. Let's convert this one. Thomas. Let's convert Thomas to a shared mailbox. So you can see Thomas was a user mailbox, but after the conversion, let me refresh it, and we should see that Thomas is now a shared mailbox. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. All right, so now let's go to Thomas, and you're going to see Thomas is now a shared mailbox. Okay, so let's say this is a shared mailbox. This was initially created as a shared mailbox, and I want to convert it back to a user mailbox. All you need to do is just click on Thomas, and you convert it back to a regular mailbox. As you can see, convert to regular mailbox. All right, so I confirm, and it's going to switch back to a regular mailbox. Now note that even if you have emails in your shared mailbox or your regular mailbox, or initially, it doesn't affect your mailbox, your emails. Your emails are always going to be there no matter where you are converting from. If you are converting from a shared mailbox to a regular mailbox, or if you are converting from a regular mailbox to a shared mailbox, it doesn't matter. Your emails are going to be there. All right. So like I said earlier, if you click on a shared mailbox, you are going to see that you have 50 gig storage. Hold on, let me refresh, because it's supposed to show you the mailbox size, which is 50 gig. Gives you 50 gig, then 50 gig archive storage. Oh, okay, so you can see down here the mailbox usage. You can see the size for 49.5 gig, that is approximately 50 gig. All right, so if you want to increase this, you will need to purchase a license, that is an exchange online plan too, for you to be able to increase it and also increase your archive storage space. All right, so like I said, you can do everything a user mailbox can do. You can assign delegate permission. Now you can assign as many people this delegate permission as you want. As long as they are in your organization, you will be able to assign them the delegate permission. Okay, so everything you can do, you can create, you can enable archive, you can do anything you want to do. Okay, you can recover deleted items, but you need to recover them between 30 days. All right, so now, having said that, I want to explain also, when you give a delegate permission to a user, if the user is using a standard license and above, like a license that gives you access to office applications on the desktop, they don't need to start logging in the shared mailbox on their Outlook, that is the desktop Outlook. It automatically appears on the desktop Outlook. All right, I hope that makes sense. So if you have an Outlook desktop and you give a delegate permission to yourself to a shared mailbox, you don't need to start signing into the Outlook desktop. It automatically appears on your Outlook desktop as a folder on its own, and this sometimes takes time to propagate, but the max propagation time used to be 24 hours. All right, but sometimes it does immediately, and sometimes it just takes a few minutes, sometimes it takes a few hours, but the max should be 24 hours. All right, I hope that makes sense. So when you come to the shared mailbox now, you can create rules too, just like the way you do on the regular mailbox. You can create a rule. Let me refresh this. You can create inbox rules. All right, refreshing. So when you come here, you can create rules. You can do anything that the regular mailbox can do. As you can see, you have all the options here: forwarding, rules, whatever it is that the user mailbox does, you can do it. You have your own calendar. All right, so the only people that can see that calendar are the people that have access, or you give delegate permission to this shared mailbox. All right, so with that being said, I hope the video was useful. If you like the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and watch out for my next video. All right.